Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Mega, and I'm commentating for Barrel's run of Mega Man 6 here. So I'll let him count us down, and then I'll just talk everybody's ear off for a little bit about this wonderful Mega Man game.
Cool, let's do the thing. I think that I might be about to get to the demo. Yeah, alright, so here we go. Alright, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so this is Mega Man 6, so called because this is the sixth entry in the Mega Man franchise. Numbers are fun, everybody. So to start off, the speedrun of this generally starts off with Windman. There are three viable routes, but Windman is probably the best for a few reasons. The real key of the early going in Mega Man 6 is we want to get Flame Man's weapon. So we do that by first taking out Windman and then using Windman to take out Flame Man. And that might seem a little funny that we want something that we're doing a different stage ahead of time for, but the biggest reason for that is that Flame Man's a bit annoying to fight with our regular buster, so the wind storm is a much more effective way to deal with it. So we're making our way through here. We've gone through about the first half of Windman stage here so far, and we get to see some of these awesome panda enemies, which are pretty cool. They have two different attacks. They can shoot a curving ball up, curving bullet, or they can shoot straight out. But that's they're one of many I think cute kind of robot enemies throughout the whole of Mega Man 6. But one of the ideas in Mega Man 6, to give you a bit of a lore explanation on the game, is that there's a robot tournament, and so these 8 robots from different parts of the world are all here to battle, and so each of these robots is supposed to represent different regions. I'm not 100% certain on where all of them are supposed to be. Some of them are a little more obvious than others. But in the case of Windman here, fun fact about his attacks is that when he does his pull with his fans and he pulls at you, if you just stand there and mash at him, his pull to Mega Man, his suck, if you will, increases as you shoot at him. So you have to be careful not to overshoot at him. That can make it a little difficult. But that was a pretty clean first stage.
Yeah,
and,
a little issue in the improv, but happy besides that.
Yeah, there's a room called the improv room, and so called because it's never quite the same each time around. So, but all around pretty clean. Now we get to the real fun part, which is Flame Man. This is after we get Flame Man's weapon, then the game really starts to pick up. You see, he is known as the Master of Flame, which makes sense. That's his name, you know. Flame Man stage is neat. It has some cool little ideas in it with these fire tellies, and you'll see that Barrel's jumping into these like oil, like little pockets of oil. Those they slow Mega Man down. They make it so that he doesn't get a full jump, and they can catch on fire. And once they're on fire, they actually are treated as spikes. So those can be a real unpleasant experience if you get caught in them when one of those fire tellies drops a little bit of fire in the oil. So handled very cleanly, no problems with the fire tellies sparking any kind of issues. So one of the things that should probably be mentioned that makes Mega Man 6 a little different from some of the other Mega Man games is one, we are not fighting Dr. Wily. We are fighting Mr. X, who has been manipulating Dr. Wily all along. This is more lore. I don't think we got to see too much of the opening intro, but all of this is explained. It's all Ooh, very very dangerous sequence here. Keeping calm is key there. Unfortunately, when the oil turns to fire, it basically lags the game for a frame or two, and if you try to jump on that frame, you just walk off and die. So handled very well by Barrel, because that is a supremely dangerous sequence to get involved in. But here's a fight with Flame Man. You see those flame walls that he puts up? Those stop your regular Buster shots. So that's why we go to Wind first. Is that makes the flame fight much easier. Yes, the infamous billionaire Mr. X is the main bad guy in this. But and that's the big lore difference in Mega Man 6. But the big difference mechanically in this is how the slides work. And the slides work in this game in Mega Man's 3, 4, and 5 in various respects. You can always jump out of your slides. Not so in Mega Man 6. If you want to jump when you're sliding in Mega Man 6, you have to cancel it. And so that creates some sequences where we're very concerned. I believe that it was mentioned during Mega Man 5, the concept of the Raiden distance. And the Raiden distance is the perfect distance that Mega Man slides, so you can slide from one end of a platform to the other without falling off. It becomes much more important in a game like Mega Man 6. So here we're going through Blizzard Man. Shout-outs to one of my favorite enemies, these little curling stones.
The best Olympic sport.
Yes, the best Olympic sport. Barrel and I are total agreement on that. I love curling, so I love that there's a curling enemy in Mega Man 6. One of the many reasons why Mega Man is the best Mega Man games. But so the sliding, this is a room where it kind of comes into play. Is that you're sliding, and as you move, you have to cancel your slide, and you can do that by pushing the opposite direction of your slide on the D-pad, or by hitting A, and then Mega Man will jump off, or he'll stop sliding and stand up, and then you have to hit A again to jump. So it makes high-level movement a little trickier in this game, I think, than sometimes in others in certain circumstances, because there's a lot of button inputs that you have to hit very quickly. But so there's the bomb sequence that make our way through, and now we fight Blizzard Man. What we'd like for Blizzard Man is to not see very many rolls. We are not. This is good so far. We don't want rolls. This is not a breakfast meal. Oh, all right, just one so far. One roll. That's how many. That's exactly how many rolls there are supposed to be, and it's Rock's sister. That's the only roll we want to see. We saw one extra. That's perfect.
Just let us see what it looks like and get out of there. Good times.
Exactly. You got to show it off. Makes everybody knows what we're talking about when we say the rolls. So this is the Blizzard attack. The way that this works out now is that we'll go to Plant Man, and another one of the reasons why I personally love Mega Man 6 is there is a little bit of logic to how the boss's weaknesses work out. So Wind hurts Flame, Flame hurts Blizzard, and then Blizzard hurts Plant. Like that, I can logically understand that. That makes total sense. So if you were a kid and you were trying to be clever, this game would actually reward you for that, and I think that's probably one of the reasons I appreciate it as an adult now. That made me feel smart when I was a kid. So in Plant Man, this is where we really start to show off how powerful this flame is. Though that gorilla takes 24 damage, and the Flame Blast does 3 damage each, so it's basically the same amount of damage as a fully charged Buster shot. So it just wrecks everything it comes into contact with. Its range isn't great, but wherever it lands, it sparks a flame wall that exists for about half a second or so. Very, very effective. And so that's the second gorilla we've taken out. Now we're coming up on one of the tougher sequences in the game. This is we call this little sequence here. This is platforms. You see those platforms up there, so called because they are in Plant Man stage. And you'll see that Barrel's jumping on that, and you're like, why doesn't he just stand on it? And the answer is because you cannot stand on those. That was very well done. That was quite excellent. I want to point out that is not easy to do. You only have about I think it's somewhere between 3 and 6 frames when you jump onto those to jump back off and jump back on. Getting it, if you can get into the rhythm, it's perfectly doable, but it is definitely tough and made it look super easy. And here we get the bonus of Plant Man jumping to the right, making a manipulation that we can do to him pretty easy. Plant Man's AI is programmed so that he's always going to try to run towards you. If he jumps to the right, if Mega Man does a neutral slide, he'll land right on top, and their hitboxes will be completely over top of each other, and that will confuse the AI, and it'll just walk around the room a couple of times, and it will let Mega Man just wail into him with the Blizzard attack. So very, very nice Plant Man stage. Very clean.
Happy with that one.
Looked excellent. Now we get to Tomahawk Man's stage, where the logic of the enemy weaknesses kind of breaks down a bit, but that's all right. Let's not worry about it too much. So here we're introduced to, I think, another one of my favorite enemies in all of Classic Mega. These guys, little cowboy-looking dudes with their six-shooter revolvers, are called Coltons. I don't know why, but that just brings joy to me. So one of my all-time favorite enemies in Mega Man.
It's a good one, for sure.
So again, we're using the Flame Blast throughout most of the stage. Just it does so much damage, and it really doesn't use a lot of energy to fire it. It's one tick of energy per shot, so you have 28 ammo for it every new stage. Shoutouts to one of the best backgrounds in Classic Mega, that shimmering sun, just gorgeous. So we're going through here. Again, you know that car is. I think it takes 2 hits and just gone immediately with the Flame Blast. It's just a really OP weapon. And we're getting really close now to the first part that makes Hundo a little different than any percent. So normally in any percent, that ladder right there on the left, we would be climbing up there. We're not going to do that.
All right, here's some bonus.
Oh. That's honestly, that one sequence there where you're trying to break that block with POW, I think is probably the toughest change in all it when you go from any to hundo percent, because the fully charged POW suit does not have very good range. So you basically have to stand right next to whatever you're trying to hit. So trying to get lined up there is can be a little tough, but that's all right. You know, it's not a huge deal, and like I said, under normal circumstances we wouldn't even be going there. In any percent, that's a room that we skip entirely. But in 100%, you got to get all the things. So we're gonna get all the things.
There we go.
And all right, so this is the we get to say hi to Proto Man. Hi, Proto Man. How you doing, buddy? And bye, Proto Man. Appreciate it. Hope you had a nice day. That is the energy balancer. It basically means that when you pick up when you pick up energy, it will automatically fill it to whatever of your weapons is no longer has the lowest amount of energy. So it's a nice little bonus item that the game does not make you get, but we get it in 100%. Obviously, it's 100%. We got to get all the things, and this is where another change is that here we actually go, instead of going up that first ladder right by where we picked up the energy balancer, we're actually going to go all the way around and down, because this game has 4 separate rooms where you can fight bosses. So these are like secret secondary options. And so this is the second room for Tomahawk Man. They all look a little different on the inside. They're in different locations on the in each of their stages. And when you beat them, when you beat each of these like 4 special rooms, you get a beat letter. So there's 4 beat letters, B-E-A-T, in that order. And when you beat the second room, that's how you collect the beat letters in this game, as opposed to in Mega Man 5 where you collecting them, they were just out floating in the ether in each of the Robot Master stages. No. In this game, you have to go somewhere special and you have to go take it from an enemy. So pretty clean there. now we're getting to move on to Yamato Man.
And right now, actually, I want to make a shout out to Iraq Vet because he got wire in his run, and I made a deal with him in mine, and you'll be about to see that right now.
Yes. So this is actually this is pretty awesome. This is not technically part of 100%. This is just Barrel showing off for everybody. So that's awesome. We get to see a mid boss that we don't actually see any other way in this game. Fun fact: this mid boss is on the back of the game box, but you never see him otherwise. This is, I'm gonna butcher this, but it's Gamarn and Gamadayu, and he's gone. That's it. What a fight, right? He has 15 health, but Flame just melts his face right off. Both their faces off. Oh yeah, I guess you would see him in POW percent, but in any or even normal 100, you would not. You would generally skip him. So here we're switching to the Jet again, and this is actually the same as the any percent route. Normally in any percent we take this route because this is faster to go to this Yamato Man exit than his, regular non-rush adapter exits. But because it's faster, we do it in any percent, and because in 100% we have to get all the things, we keep that up. And I guess I should probably mention. Let's look at Yamato Man here. He's got a little spear. This is actually a boss that's really good to show off kind of how the AI for the bosses works. So he jumped twice. He's not going to jump a third time. The AI generally means that they will not do the same thing 3 times in a row. There are a few bosses that break that, but for the most part, and it's especially obvious here, if he does the same action twice, he will not do the same action a third time. So that was Yamato Man, nice and clean. We got to see some behind-the-scenes footage, really, with a special mid-boss appearance. Very exciting.
Now for
and
my
so they're
favorite.
Yes, one of the best robot masters, I think. Nightman is pretty rad. He's got the shield, he's got the mace, he's got the mohawk. He's the total package. Just look at that guy. So, continuing on, we've got Nightman stage, which is got our spike ceiling here, which is definitely scary and handled very well there. That is non-trivial. That is a very easy place to die. Believe me, it's gotten me plenty of times.
Me too.
Handled very. I feel like every Mega Man 6 can think back to Nightman stage, and that crusher is like, yep, that's gotten me a couple times. So handled very, very, very nicely. And here we're getting in through Nightman stage. We switch to Jet, and it lets us skip a whole bunch of stuff here. And I should probably mention the rush adapter. So one of the cool things that Mega Man 6 did was, instead of having like regular rush Jet, rush coil, rush marine, as awesome as all of those are, this game decided to change that out and to give us rush adapters that give Mega Man slightly different abilities. So there's the POW suit, which we've seen, which just means that he can charge a very strong punch, basically. And it's pretty effective. The range has something to be desired, but it's always available. There's no energy for them. And then the same thing with the Jet. The Jet has a limited amount of energy for you to fly, but it regenerates, so you can always utilize it. It's really nice. So this is another place where we see the deviation from any to 100%. Normally in any percent we would just walk across into that boss entrance here, but in Hundo we have to go down here, take a little bit of damage, and sneak over those spikes there, and get into this secret room where we get to see the second Nightman room. It's got these cool little windows hanging out there. The backgrounds in this game, I think, are really impressive in general for a Mega Man game or for an NES game in general. Fun fact, this was actually one of the last 10 games that was released on the NES in the United States. I think there are a total of 712 official NES titles. This was in the 700s number, so which is pretty cool. Pretty solid stage there for Nightman. And now we are moving into our last robot master before we get into our castle stages. And this is Centaur Man. And this is one of the other cool things that Mega Man 6 introduces, that it gives you all this information when you select them. Like, it says his name, and it says where he is. He's in the ancient city, and then it says ability unknown. Like all the other ones, it's like, you know, master of the Yamato spear or whatever. And then this guy's like, we don't know what he does. He's just a robot dude on a horse body.
He runs on a dry battery too. Another thing that they tell us.
Right, he runs on a dry battery, and he lives in water level. So, okay, makes sense. Not going to question it. But what this stage does serve to show us is how useful the Night Crusher can be, because it can be aimed in 3 directions, and also it does quite a bit of damage. And so if it kills anything, it just continues on its trajectory. Here is a stage where gravity is a lie. We don't abide by that law. We break that law. Water's above us and going up, whatever. You know, it's crazy. Here we've got some, just more places where, unfortunately, the Night Crusher doesn't damage those enemies. So what we end up doing there is we just take damage to get through them. Now, normally in an any percent run, you would just be on Night Crusher from when you change there earlier in the stage until the end of this stage. But because we are doing the 100% route, that isn't how we're going to do this. We actually switch to Jet, and we do that because to get to Centaur Man's secret second boss room, we need Jet to be able to make this jump. It's right there. It's so tantalizing. If you don't have the Jet adapter, you see that and you're like, I must get there. I must have it. I must know what's over there. And then you get the Rush Jet adapter and you come back and you do this and you're like, I just have to fight him again. That's cool. But, I mean, check out that background. You get the skybox in the background. You see this special room. It's really neat.
He's being bad.
Yeah, so Centaur Man can teleport, and that's really out of your control. There's not a lot you can do about it, but not a bad kill. Pretty clean.
I'll take it.
You know,
no flash.
Yeah, he wasn't cooperating, but you did all right with it, with what he gave you, I think. All right, and that is our 8 robots down for the count. So now we get to go to Mr. X's stage. Like I said, the big lore change here is we don't have Dr. Wily as the main villain. We're actually found out that Mr. X has been pulling Dr. Wily's strings this whole time. Dr. Wily's just a puppet. And, so we go to his pretty awesome, like that, just a giant X on his castle. That is pretty awesome. But I mean, look at this background. It's just a really good looking like cityscape. Just hanging out in the background of Mega Man 6. Again, one of those. Oh, that I can also say 100%. I have had that happen to me multiple times. It's very easy to not feather Jet just a touch, and you get a little bit too much vertical momentum there, and you can just barely catch one of those spikes.
Yeah, we'll just go safe on the second time around now.
Yeah, it's all right.
Quick death.
Not a problem. That spike is has claimed many a run. Believe you me. So here we're breaking windows. And we're doing the punch as we screen transition. This is a significant time savings over not utilizing the PAL suit to break that window. If you go the regular way, it's quite slow. There's multiple screens, and this way really cuts the stage much, much shorter. And here we are. We're right into the boss fight here, which is one of the fastest boss fights in all of Mega Man. This is with Rounder, and it doesn't have iframes, so as long as you fire your Flame Blast that hits it, it'll just basically melt itself. It's pretty rad.
And it looks like it went well.
Yeah, looked pretty good to me.
When those things get away from you, it is not a fun time.
No, that boss, if he gets away from you, it goes from being the quickest fight in Classic Mega to one that feels interminable. For sure. So, now we're in Mr. X2. This is a pretty colorful level. We get some nice pink and purple, very pastel stage. We mash our slide over this because these platforms fall, and there's like nothing you can do about like Mega Man will just stop sliding randomly, and you don't want to walk. You're trying to go fast, so you're sliding. So you just mash down an A that whole time to try to slide through. So we're gonna make our way through this to one of the worst bosses, I think, in this game for sure, arguably in all of the original 6 Classic Megas. Oh, scared me there on my screen.
I scared myself too. Yeah, I actually the whole reason I grab an E-Tank in Flame Man stage at the beginning of the run is as a little bit of marathon safety just for this boss.
Yeah, this boss can be a real jerk sometimes. This is the wall climber. And he is weak. It is weak to the Silver Tomahawk, which is fine, but you don't know where he's going to be. His movement is random, so you can just end up where he starts to move up and then doesn't, and so you miss him. And unfortunately, Tomahawks are very useful for the rest of this run, and you don't get refills between castle stages. But that looked pretty good. I mean, you took the E-Tank, but didn't look like he had too bad of a time on the use of the ammo for the Silver Tomahawk.
Yeah, it worked out. What I can say. But I have plenty of, I don't need to grab any emergency ammo, which you could in X4 or Wily 1, which isn't a stage because X4 is the last stage of the game.
Yeah, so we're on to X3, which is the jet heavy stage. So we've got a lot of we've got some more fire tellies, and we've got some more of these Roland enemies that we're basically trying to get around. This stage is casually especially difficult, and also because of how it works. If you didn't have jet, it can be beaten, but it is significantly more difficult because you have to understand how some of those platforms interact with one another. That some of them are actually linked together at the beginning of the stage and the end of the stage, so you actually have to set up jumps later on with earlier positioning on those platforms. But luckily, because this is 100% and not true blue, we can get away without worrying about that too much. And so here we're coming up on one of the that section there where you kind of jump down and you feather the jet. That is one of the scariest sections in this whole game as far as I'm concerned. I've gotten just barely missed my energy level and send rolling off the edge.
That guy's playing too many lives. He needs to go.
Love it. You get the punch going in here, and this is Matonger's one of the best names for a bad guy, or one of the robots in any of these games. Matonger's Z. He's just a Met that is in this giant mech suit, and it doesn't matter that he's still a Met. So, and if I know nothing from baseball, it's that the Mets always lose. So that's what happened here.
I don't know about that, man.
I gotta be careful if Cab's in the chat. So we're moving on to X4. This is we get to finally have our showdown with Mr. X himself.
Last stage of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Last stage. we've got this is another stage that kind of shows off how really useful the Night Crusher can be, going through certain enemies, and just being able to be aimed at all is real effective. And this is also another stage that kind of this stage is as dangerous as you want to make it, is kind of the way that I always refer to it as. You can walk this whole stage and it really isn't going to be that much slower, but if you really want to try to save time, you're going to be putting yourself into immense danger constantly. So,
but we're in a marathon right now, so
right, exactly. We're trying to play this a little safer, and here this Colton is one of the scariest in the game, I think, because you're doing this, you're sliding. They're shooting, and as soon as their bullets leave the screen, they shoot again. So you're moving to the right. Their bullets are moving to the left. So they're shooting more rapidly than you might think. It's definitely a scary little sequence here. You grab that E-tank. It's safety. I have the final boss coming up. It doesn't hurt to have that for sure. And now we've got
using it right now.
Yep. Probably a good call. 2 health before walk in there, grab that E-tank, and switch over to our POW suit, so that we can walk in here and we can. This is Mr. X. He's in his giant swinging spike ball, so we're just gonna beat on it. The hitbox for this is actually weirdly shaped. It's actually a T. It's the bottom left and right corners are empty.
Oh, GG.
Yeah, very well done.
What?
Failed D. Wait, what's going on here? What? Look at this man and his beautiful eyebrows.
I would have never been able to tell under that disguise that Dr. Wily was in there.
Right? Like, it was a really, I mean, we're talking top-notch disguise there. Didn't look anything like him. Wow. I guess same old, right? We're just back to Dr. Wily again. Gotta deal with this guy, right?
Guess so. All right.
So we've now the jig is up. We know what's happening. It's Dr. Wily again, and so now we get 4 more wonderful castle stages. And this stage coming up is pretty cool. This sequence here, if you're playing casual and you don't know that you need to start hitting your jet a screen early, you can never actually hit that block there. You can't do it if you start holding it after you've transitioned into that screen. So that's good to know. Luckily, we've played this game quite a bit, so we know all the ins and outs. But that saves quite a bit of time from doing some slow movement that's pretty difficult, actually, too, on top of it being a slower route. So we're making good time here. We're on our way here through. We have this one Turret Joe to deal with. Bye, Turret Joe. And now we've got the Mechasaurus, and I'll tell you a little bit about this guy because he's kind of a real pain in the butt. So his weakness is the Yamato Spear, and the Yamato Spear travels at 4 pixels per frame, and this Mechasaurus's hitbox is 3 pixels wide. So that means that depending upon where you shoot at him, your tomahawk might just straight miss him, or your Yamato Spear might just straight miss him. So luckily, if Mega Man's up against the wall, that's a place where it will always deal damage. So that's the reason why you see Barrel riding up, hitting the wall, firing. It's a good stage. Looked good.
Yeah, fight went better than it can. Sometimes that fight can really troll you.
Yeah, definitely. That is a stage that is a boss on a stage that can be really trolly. Here we have some more ice physics, which again, when you're talking about a Mega Man where you can't jump out of your slides, slide canceling gets a little difficult with the ice, because if you push the opposite direction you're sliding, you'll still keep moving in the direction you were sliding. You'll just stand up. But luckily, we're out of that. That's a quick way to cut some time off. That's another sequence where we save time by sneaking through a breakable wall. This case, an ice wall that we killed with a flame blast. Take care of some mad nerds here, so-called because they're normal nerds, but then we hit them and then they don't like that. They lose their glasses and they're mad nerds. So, it makes sense, I guess,
I'd
right?
be upset if someone did that to me. We're gonna see a second bubble.
Yeah, so this is actually the same as one of the earlier gorillas. It's basically the same hitbox, just a different sprite on top of it.
Good recycling.
And
Save the
yeah,
earth.
nice and easy. That's a pretty simple boss. Nice and clean stage there for sure. Now we're getting into second to last stage before our little skull stage there on the map. This stage, honestly, when done correctly, is feels really good and pretty easy. But anything that goes awry here makes it much more difficult because these fans will both push and pull you in different directions, and if things don't go quite right, they can make life a little difficult. But that was really nice and clean that whole way through. Getting on up here, we see our friendly neighborhood Dr. Wily Brand teleporter. Gonna hop on into that. And now we get into our refights, and what's cool about the refights, and one of the things that I like about the refights in Mega Man 6 is we start at the top right corner, and we can basically just go around without jumping around and running across the map. We don't have to worry too much about trying to minimize our menuing because we're going to menu for every single boss. There really aren't viable soft weaknesses in this that make a lot of use, that make a lot of sense. And every boss in this game actually takes 7 shots of their weakness to die. So every boss weakness deals 4 damage. So I think that this is actually the first Mega Man game where that was true. Where every weakness deals the same amount of damage across all 8 Robot Masters, and in fact, even the castle bosses, it also deals that. Tomahawk Man is one of the slightly tougher ones because it's one where we have perfect ammo for, so we have to be cautious. And Barrel handled it. And then we follow it up with Wind, which is the other boss that we have perfect ammo for, and Barrel's 50% of the way through with respecting the iframes, which is always the key here. Got to respect the iframes because you're better off sacrificing a few frames to make sure that you hit the enemy or hit the Robot Master with their weakness, so that you don't have to switch. All right, now we get a second crack at Centaur Man. Let's see if he's maybe a little friendlier this time around instead of being kind of a jerk like last time.
2 teleports is better than whatever he did on that first go-around. So
yeah, that first one was pretty mean of him. So, but otherwise, this is it's a nice refights. We go through everything. We got our get another crack at each of our Robot Masters. Nightman, I'm not sure we actually saw him throw his mace the first time around, so that's nice. We finally get to see what that looks like. Now Barrel goes to the top here, and part of that is that if you want to make the jump from here with Yamato, after you finish Yamato and jump into the teleporter that appears after you've defeated the 8 bosses in the center, it's a really tight jump, and you're not really saving any time if you miss that jump. So, in order to just make it clean, you go to the top here, and then you hit this middle one, and it makes the whole sequence very, very clean, very simple. And here is a second go at Plant Man. He jumps to the right, so we're going to try
much extra with it.
Oh, got a couple extra shots in on him. That's all right. That's still better than the normal. Our normal. Just the standard 2 shot on him. Very nice Robot Masters. Well done.
Here comes the final battle.
Yep. Well, let the final battle commence. This is it. We're getting ready for Dr. Wily. Time is coming up here in a minute or two. So, one of the fun things about Mega Man 6, because of the way that Mega Man works and how he slides and everything, Barrel walks off that top part there, because if you actually do 2 slides, Mega Man will never be able to go in and pick up that big energy refill. It just doesn't happen. It does something where the game just will not let you catch your foot in there to walk over. So you have to slide and then walk off if you want to be able to refill your tomahawk, your silver tomahawk, which you have to, because all 3 phases of the Wily machine are weak to the silver tomahawk. And I'd like to point out it's a silver tomahawk, but that is not silver. That color is bronze. I will fight anybody. That's just what it is. All right, now we hope for good spawns here from Dr. Wily. One okay spawn. He's been a little problematic, but haven't missed and switching to night. Wait and get beat. He's got to show up. Beat has done nothing all game, so we're gonna try to let Beat be on screen. We did the 100%. We might as well show off Beat, right? Here he is.
Oh no.
The stupid bird himself.
Okay.
There it is. GG.
Thank you. And now we'll be throwing Wily in jail for the foreseeable future, and he'll never ever get out.
That's right. There's no more Mega Man games. Dr. Wily's behind bars. It's game over, man.